Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fernando Alonso career mode. As you can see, he's currently in 7th position in our simulated Minardi car. Anyway, before we move on to the next round of the championship, we've got one of those invitational races and Fernando is in the beautiful Brawn from 2009. I'm going to leave you for just a moment with some ear porn for your ears. Fantastic. And Fernando Alonso completed his invitational objective with flying colours as we expected to do so. Now it's time to move on to the next round of the championship, which is Monaco. Oh god, it's Monaco. Anyway, hopefully Fernando Alonso is a far better driver than the Hookster. Hopefully, anyway. So let's have a look at the moment. As you can see, it's full wet conditions. We're on the blue sidewall tyres, which means full wet. Let's see what time Fernando can put in at the moment. Hamilton's got pole position. Fernando Alonso's just about to cross the line. It's going to put him in. Where's it going to put him? Oh! Fantastic. 9th place at the moment for Fernando Alonso. Anyway, a little bit late into the session and oh my goodness gracious, he's in real trouble here. He's down to 20th place. Well, his teammate's not doing any better. He's only in 19th, but we have now switched on to the intermediate tyres. So hopefully Fernando Alonso is going to get a little bit higher up the grid. Let's have a look as he crosses the line and it's going to be, oh my goodness, 2nd position for Alonso. Wowzers, where did he pull that out of the hat? Where did he pull that rabbit out of the hat? 2nd place for Fernando Alonso. Anyway, as the session finishes, he ended up in 8th position for the race. Fantastic. So there's the final results then. 8th for Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton got pole position. His teammate Alexander Albon only finished in 20th place. So it's time now for the 5 lights to go out on the Fernando Alonso career mode, and we say go, 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 and it's away he goes. We've got Le Mans Grosjean just off to the right of us in the Haas car. Daniel Ricciardo is directly in front of us as we go into Sandoval. Oh, is it going to get very, very tight? There's Sebastian Vettel. Oh, we make contact with Sebastian Vettel, I do believe, but we've got a warning for collision with Daniel Ricciardo. Anyway, we climb up the hill once again, still holding on to 8th position at the moment for Fernando Alonso, chasing hard on Romain Grosjean in that Haas, of course, and Sebastian Vettel is behind us, but he's looking like an angry wasp once again right behind us as we go into the casino hairpin, and he does a dive bomb on Romain Grosjean. He gets past us. Yes, he does. Wow, fantastic from Fernando Alonso there, up into 7th position now as he goes very, very tight and tries to get round the hairpin. It's very, very tight indeed for Fernando Alonso, but he just manages to pull it off as we go now underneath and into the tunnel section of the gorgeous Monaco circuit, and he's holding on to 7th place at the moment. Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault is currently the car ahead of him now. Yes, the car ahead of him. Don't forget, of course, we are in the Toro Rosso, which is our simulated Minardi for this season, and at the halfway point of this season we are going to swap over to the Renault, which was the car that Fernando drove in, I think, 2002 onwards, or was he a test driver in 2002? I will check that. I will Google it and check it, but I know he did move to Renault in 2002, where he may have been a driver, and that's our next team. And it's quite surprising that our next team is currently ahead of us as Lewis Hamilton crosses the line, does the fastest lap. Well, he would do, of course, because he's in the bloody lead. He's in the bloody lead. So we're still chasing these Renaults at the moment for Fernando Alonso. As you can see, we climbed the hill once again. You can see the sunlight is now pouring down, and you can also see there is the halo bar, which was first introduced, of course, into F1 2018 season, and it's now with us to stay because it's now been translated to a lot of the lower formulas as well. So I don't think the halo is going anywhere as we now go once again into the casino hairpin. It's going to be, oh, he did that superbly this time. Fernando Alonso got round there absolutely beautifully as he now disappears as he goes into the tunnel section of the Monaco circuit. So there he goes, and there you can quite clearly see the halo bar and basically how much visibility you lose when that halo bar is in operation. It's quite a lot. It's not just in front of you, it's off to the sides as well, but of course the drivers don't seem to complain anymore, so it's all good. So there are the yachts in the background. You can see them, look, with all the young girls cheering on Fernando Alonso. Oh, fabulous, fabulous. They'll all be there in their bikinis, jumping up and down, Oh, if only it was the summer again, but it's not. It's bloody winter and it's bloody cold. Anyway, Fernando Alonso crosses the line after lap 2, just about to start lap 3 now. The DRS has been activated and he's still holding on to 7th position at the moment as he once again climbs up the hill of the Monaco circuit, going underneath the UBS sign. I think that's a bank, isn't it? Is that a bank? I'm not quite sure. We go past all the signs now, going down the hill now, going to the casino. And there is that big hotel or casino or whatever you want to call it in the background. As he now goes through for the third time in this race. And once again, it's very, very tight for Fernando Alonso. But he manages to get through okay. So Le Bon Grosjean is now the car behind us in the Haas. Because he did an absolutely audacious overtaking manoeuvre on Romain Grosjean and managed to get past. He's going through the tunnel once again. Be very, very careful because it suddenly goes very, very bright and it can affect your vision as you come out of the tunnel. Quite a few drivers have been called out by that, of course, in previous years. So, we're still holding on to 7th place. Almost the end of lap 3, about to start the next lap of the Grand Prix. Making a little bit of progress on Daniel Ricciardo, but not really that much. As you can see from the mini-map, yes, there's a tiny bit of gap now forming between Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo. Anyway, he comes around the final corner to start the next lap of the Grand Prix. And it's going to be, of course, lap 4. Yes, lap 4 as we cross the line now. Cross the line. Okay, so we accelerate forward now to lap 7 of the Grand Prix. Lap 7, still holding on to 7th for Fernando Alonso, but a couple of cars have come into the pits. One of those is Carlos Sainz and, of course, the McLaren. And there's another car ahead as well. I think that may be one of the Mercedes cars. Anyway, he gets past them up into 5th position now for Fernando Alonso. His teammate also, Alexander Albon, is in the pits as well. On lap 8, as we accelerate forward down to the end of lap 8, there's more cars just coming out of the pit, as you can see. One is a Ferrari, and it's Verstappen. It's Maxi Boy Verstappen. We managed to get past him. Well, we thought we did, but of course Verstappen's got the tighter line coming out of the pits there, and he jumps us coming out of the pits, so down to 4th position for Fernando Alonso. Almost on for a podium, but it didn't quite work out for Fernando. So down to 4th place, but still ahead of Romain Grosjean. And of course, don't forget, he's still got to come in for his pit stop. Yep, on lap 9, as we accelerate forward down to lap 13. Yes, lap 13. There's another car coming. It's one of the Renaults. It's the Honey Badger, and yes, we get past Daniel Ricciardo up into 3rd position. Now a podium may be on now for Fernando Alonso as he climbs up the hill once again on lap 14. But is he going to come in for his pit stop? He hasn't pitted yet, and he's done 14 laps of this Grand Prix as we accelerate forward down to lap 18. Lap 18, and he still hasn't come in for the pits. What is going on? It's just started to rain as well, but that's not going to affect the situation because he's still got to come in for a change of tyres. And there you go. He's got the regulation warning that he's got to come in for a new set of tyres. So it's lap 19 now. Lap 19 for Fernando Alonso. He comes in with just 2 laps to go to change his tyres now. He's going to change on... What's he going to change onto though? It is starting to rain. He may change onto the intermediates. We will find out any moment. He's down to 5th already though. A couple of cars have gone past. And yes, he does. He changes onto the intermediate tyres because you can see it is raining quite hard now. So he leaves the pit lane on the intermediate tyres. And he's just got, is it 1 lap or 2 laps to go? 2 laps to go, I think. Yes, as he rejoins now. But Charles Leclerc has got past him. So has Sebastian Vettel. This could be a disaster. But no, he's putting a move on Sebastian. Well, he tried to put a move on Sebastian Vettel as he came out of the pits there. Didn't quite manage to pull it off. But he's in 9th place. And surely he's got the better tyres. Because the cars ahead of him are on dry tyres. As we accelerate forward after the last lap of the race. And yes, indeedy, Mr. McGreedy, as the race winner is Max Verstappen. We are on the better tyre. We're definitely on the better tyre. But it's just a case of Monaco trying to get past the cars in front. There's Sebastian Vettel, and he does it's a very, very late dive bomb there from Fernando Alonso. He gets a warning for exceeding the track limits, but he gets past, yes. Oh, no, he doesn't. That was an illegal overtake. He's got to give the place back to Sebastian Vettel. Wowzers, absolute wowzers. So he's slowing down. Come on, Vettel, get past, for cock's sake, get past. He does get past. Well, that was fantastic there. And look at that, Fernando Alonso sneaks back past him again. Oh my goodness, he sticks up the virtual 2 fingers to Sebastian Vettel and overtakes him once again. So he's back into 8th place. This is the last lap, of course, the last dying seconds. It's all over, and Fernando Alonso is going to cross the line in 8th place. Fantastic. Get in there. Get in there. So 8th position now for Fernando Alonso. Fantastic. More points for our Toro Rosso Minardi, as we're going to call it from now on. And look, you can see it's absolutely chucking down now as that helicopter speeds away at about 2,000 miles an hour. Oh my goodness. There's the winner. It's Maxi Boy Verstappen. Well done, Max. Well done indeed. And there's the team mechanics, and there's Araver. Yes, there's Araver. Yeah, he works for Red Bull. Well, he works for everybody, really. Yeah, absolutely everybody. He's got about 15 jobs as Araver. And there's Fernando, 8th place in the Toro Rosso car. Let's go on to the podium then. There is Maxi Boy. And there is oh my goodness, he's looking a little bit old these days, isn't he? Old Adrian Newey. Old Adrian Newey, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, we'll gloss over that and just look at Maxi Boy Verstappen. as he chucks the champagne over everyone. Look at him, yeah, go on, get it in his eyes. Don't get it in Adrian's though, I don't think he'll be able to see for the rest of the year. Anyway. Oh dear. That's it. Hugsy time on the podium, lads. Hugsy time. So after Monaco, still in 8th position at the moment for Fernando Alonso, or should I say, he finished in 8th place. And teammate Alexander Albon finished in 15th place. Let's have a look at the standings now and see exactly where we are. Well, it's 7th place actually for Fernando Alonso with 42 points. Lewis Hamilton way out in front with 110 World Championship points. And in the constructors, as we just scroll down, look at Alexander Albon, who's got no points. In the constructors, we can see that we are going to be in 4th place. Okay, then it's time to move on to the next Grand Prix. But before we move on to the next Grand Prix, you can see that Fernando Alonso is doing one of those invitational races, and he's in one of those classic McLaren cars. Just look at the way he's handling it, like a real pro, lads, like a real pro, of course, from the 2 times world champion Fernando Alonso. Oh my goodness. Anyway, as expected, he passed that with flying colours as we expect he would do. And now on to the next Grand Prix, which is Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, how we love you so. Anyway, oh my goodness, we've got an important development problem with our developments from car. This is an important update, so I'm looping in everyone. Oh, what, like Wonder Woman with her lasso? We've been having issues with some of our equipment in the factory. We've been seeing the test post for... Oh my god, what the fuck is he even talking about? What is he... What's that say down there? TRDR. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that... He's talking bollocks now. He's talking absolute bollocks, everyone. Look at this. Anyway, we return to the comfort of Jeff, who tells us that our qualifying is going to be wet and our race is going to be dry. Thank you, Jeff. Fantastic. Anyway, before we move on, we've got to do a little bit more to our power unit, because we've got a few parts that are wearing now, so we've got to make sure it's not a Chevrolet Matiz anymore and get it up to full factory standards. So we're going to put some new parts onto the car to get us through the next few races, because of course Fernando's doesn't want a GP2 engine. No, he does not want a GP2 engine. Anyway, out we go. And oh my goodness gracious, bloody good call. I don't believe it. It is absolutely pissing down as predicted by Jeff, and he was absolutely right this time. It is chucking it down. Let's see what time Fernando Alonso is going to put in as he crosses the line. At the moment, Maxi Boy's in the lead, and oh my goodness, 3rd place at the moment for Fernando. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Anyway, let's have a look. Before we move on, that was qualifying. We're just going to have to spend some of our resource points now, because we finally reached our 2,000 resource points limit. And first of all, of course, we've got to redevelop this part that's failed, because the guys at the factory are fucking useless. Fucking useless. So that part has been done, and now we're free with our remaining 1,636 points to do exactly what the hell we bloody well want. Well, of course, we've got parts that are wearing very, very quickly, so we've got to go for durability and get some of those parts to last a little bit longer. Otherwise, we're going to be in real trouble towards the end of the season. Well, we're not really, because of course we're just going to move on to another team. So here are the final grid orders then for the race at Canada. 1st place for Lulu, 2nd for Charles Leclerc, 3rd for Sebastian Vettel, 4th for Maxi Boy Verstappen. In 5th place it is Carlos Sainz, 6th for Valtteri Bottas, 7th for Daniel Ricciardo, 8th for Fernando, 9th for Lando Norris, 10th for Kimi Raikkonen, 11th for Romain Grosjean, 12th for Pierre Gasly, 13th for Lucas Weber, 14th for Sergio Perez, 15th for Alexander Albon, 16th for Lance Stroll, 17th for Kevin Magnussen, 18th for Computer. Oh, I've lost it. Anyway, once again, they are forming up on the grid. It's the reformed formation lap, and it's now over, and it's soon time for the 5 lights to go out on the Fernando Alonso clear mode. And we say go, 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 and it's away he goes. From 8th position on the grid. As you can see, Daniel Ricciardo, the honey badger, just off to the left. He now darts to the right hand side. Oh, he's got a car. He's inside though. Oh, that's one of the McLarens. I think that's Lando Norris. There's contact, absolute contact with Lando Norris. He's got a wall in 4th position with Lando Norris there. Wowzers, absolute wowzers. Anyway, he managed to get through, up into 7th place now. And we've got Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes directly ahead of him. Oh my goodness. Directly ahead of us is Valtteri Bottas. So Lando Norris has to resume his position behind us. And Fernando Alonso is relentlessly pursuing now Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes car. I don't know why the Mercedes is so far back, to be honest. Shouldn't be in 6th, it should be up there in 1st or 2nd. At the moment, in this race, it is down to 6th position. I've had a poor start for the line. I'm not quite sure. I didn't actually remember where his qualifying position was. Anyway, we continue on, lads. We continue on in 7th place for Fernando Alonso as we come to this... Oh, there's a car trying to go in the outside. It's Lando Norris once again, but he manages to fend him off. Wow, that was superb from Fernando Alonso there as we go down this extraordinarily long straight now. Extraordinarily long straight, yes. Canada underneath the Pirelli signs. We're just about to complete lap 1 and we're going to go past Champions Wall, as they so call, because we're going to go to this chicane now. We go to the right, we go to the left, hug it at the outside of the wall there, but we managed to get through okay for Fernando Alonso. We've held on to 7th position now, and this is now going into lap 2 of the Grand Prix. Just looking at the outside camera views now, and you can see what's happening in this race. We've got this huge train of cars once again, and the car behind us now, I do believe, is the Iceman, Kimi Räikkönen, the Sauber. I think it may be the Iceman. So he's managed to get past Lando Norris, of course. And look at this, Lando Norris though, he's trying for another move on Kimi Räikkönen, but no, he's having to hold station. There's quite a few cars behind Fernando now, as you can see. Huge trolley train, and the cars in front seem to be pulling away, but don't forget, of course, we are in the simulated Minardi for this season. Yes, the simulated Minardi car. Of course, Minardi were taken over by Toro Rosso in 2005, so that's the first car we're using for this championship before we switch over to the... Oh my goodness, wait a minute, shut up Dave, there's action happening on the circuit as Kimi Räikkönen is still trying to get past Fernando Norris. What the fuck, Dave, what the fuck? Oh god, it's nearly Christmas, you know, I'm losing it with these commentaries. I'm absolutely losing it. No, Fernando Alonso was the driver I was trying to say. Quite get it there. Anyway, this is almost the end of lap 2 now, going past Champions Wall once again, about to start lap 3 for Fernando Alonso, and he's holding on at the moment, so I think is it 8th place now? So I can't remember. Anyway, here we are, it's 7th position actually for Fernando Alonso, 7th position at the moment. Kimi Räikkönen still behind us, and he's trying to dive down the inside of Fernando Alonso, but he manages to hold him off at the moment. This is still lap 3. Carlos Sainz is the car ahead, and he's battling like crazy, I think, with Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes. Look at the mini-map. Their colours are changing like crazy. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. But yes, there's a right old ding-dong battle between Sainz and Valtteri Bottas. Anyway, we continue as Fernando Alonso is still in 7th place with Kimi Räikkönen. Still, oh, we got an angry red arrow. Kimi Räikkönen dives down the inside of Fernando Alonso, pushes him out wide, but he manages to hold on to it and hold on to this 7th place as Kimi Räikkönen has to jump back a little bit from trying to get past. He obviously had to brake very, very hard as we go into this next turn. It's very, very tight right-hander. You can see that the steering lock that you have to apply to get round that corner is very, very intense indeed. Okay, going down the line now, just before we go to the final chicane before Champions Wall, you can see, oh my goodness, here comes Kimi Räikkönen once again, going for a run down the inside. Oh, he's going to push us out a little bit, but he managed to hold on to it. Yes, superb, and Kimi has to back off once again. So just about to start lap 4 now of this Grand Prix, holding on to 7th place at the moment. Okay, it's time to accelerate forward now to lap 4, and Alonso is still holding on, but Kimi Räikkönen once again tries to push down the line and get past, but Alonso is not having any of his shit from the Iceman. No shit from the Iceman for Fernando Alonso. He's holding on to 7th place as we accelerate forward. That's on lap 4, and once again Kimi Räikkönen goes for a move. Oh, he jumps over the chicane a little bit there, but he's holding on, still holding on to this 7th place, and Kimi Räikkönen has dropped way back now, way back. He must have really had to have slammed on the brakes to avoid trying to hit Fernando Alonso as we accelerate forward down to lap 6, and once again he's under pressure. This time it's from Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull. Oh wowzers, oh, and there's bits of carbon fibre flying in the air. I don't know whether that's from Gasly or whether it's from Fernando Alonso's car, but he hangs on at the moment to this 7th position on lap 6. Pierre Gasly is now the car directly behind him, and Carlos Sainz is still ahead. Oh, there's more jostling through Champions Wall, but he's still holding on at the moment to this 7th place on lap 6 as we accelerate forward down to lap 8 of the Grand Prix. Just going past the pits now. There are now cars coming into the pits. One of those is Carlos Sainz in the McLaren, which was ahead of us, and it looks like he's going to stay ahead of us as he comes out of the pits. And the answer to that is yes, he does. Oh my goodness, this is not looking good for Fernando. I don't even know if he's going to get any points in this race as we accelerate forward down to lap 9, still holding on to 7th. And Sainz is still ahead in 6th place. And now we've got Lando Norris, I do believe, that's directly behind us. So anyway, on lap 9, it's time for Fernando to come in for his pit stop. He's in the middle at the moment of a McLaren sandwich. Well, he was. It's just changed positions now, of course, because he's coming to the pits. And it says teammate in as well. Alexander Albon. Oh my goodness, just having a look in the rear view. I can't quite see him. Anyway, there he is. There's Alexander Albon. He comes in for his pit stop. Wow, that's a very, very slick stop there from the lads. And we rejoin now in 12th position for Fernando Alonso. Yes, 12th place, and I can't understand why he seems to be dropping back a little bit. He seems to be dropping back in the positions. Down to 13th place now. Sergio Perez comes out ahead of him as he rejoins the field. I just don't get it. Why? There seems to be a problem there for Fernando Alonso. He seems to be slowing down. Anyway, we accelerate forward now to lap 10, and Sebastian Vettel is now out of the session, and there's more cars coming, so he's made it up into 12th position now. Yes, 12th position for Fernando Alonso, but yes, there's definitely a reason, I think, why he's not catching up to the back of these cars. As we accelerate forward now to lap 11 of the Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso is going past the pits, and there are cars coming in, which means he may go back into the points, and yes, he does. Back into 8th position. Wow, fantastic. I was a little bit worried there that Fernando wasn't going to get back into the points, but he has managed to pull it off. So he's on for some solid points in our simulated Minardi cars. We accelerate forward now to lap 12 of the Grand Prix. Still in 8th. Another car's coming though, so I'll be to 7th now. 7th place for Fernando Alonso. Sergio Perez is now the car ahead. Pierre Gasly is now the car behind. As we accelerate forward now to lap 13, he's been overtaken by Pierre Gasly in the course of Red Bull. There's contact. He goes very, very wide, very, very wide. He rejoins the circuit. Now he gets a warning for a collision, but he didn't get told that he had to get the position back. So obviously that wasn't track limits, going over the track limits. That was just a sort of racing incident. Anyway, Pierre Gasly is having none of Fernando Alonso's shit and tries once again to get past him. But Fernando Alonso hangs him out to dry and holds on to this 7th position in the race so far. So just coming down the final run, of course, and there's a car trying to get past. That's Pierre Gasly once again jumping over the curb, but we managed to hold on, and Pierre Gasly actually has to drop back as we accelerate forward to lap 17. Just about to start the last lap of this Grand Prix, and it looks like Fernando Alonso is going to finish in 7th place. Yes, 7th position at the moment. Hopefully, if he can just fend off the cars behind. Of course, the car behind now is Lando Norris in the McLaren car. Now in the development, I think McLaren are a little bit ahead of us, because of course we're in our simulated Minardi. So we will see whether we can fend him off as we're going through now the last lap of this Grand Prix. And as you can see, the sunshine has come out. It's a glorious day. What a wonderful day it is for motor racing. A wonderful day. The sunshine is dappling. Well, it doesn't really matter if it's dappling anywhere, really, because the blessed one himself, Mr. Lewis Hamilton, has won the race. Yes, won the race, as we always expected him to. As we go underneath that little bridge there, and we're just about to come down to the final long run before we take the final chicane past Champions Wall, and hopefully we should finish in 7th place for Fernando Alonso. He's got that huge trolley train of cars behind him. I think there's maybe half a dozen cars. So let's see if he can hang on. Well, he's got just about enough fuel, but he's staying in standard mix. He's going to overtake for his ERS deployment to try and fend off the cars behind him. That car, of course, is Fernando Norris in the McLaren, who tried to sneak down the inside to the last turn, but I think he's going to have him. Yes, he does. So he's going to cross the line in 7th place. Fantastic. Well done to Fernando Alonso. More solid points for our team.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Woo! That was exciting. I love Canada, and so does Fernando. And there is Toto Wolff congratulating his team mechanics. Yes, he'll be terminating them later. And there is Lulu. There is Lulu. First place. Can anyone stop Lewis Hamilton in 2020? Well, there's a possibility. The team mechanics are hugging it out like they always do. And there is Lomond Grosjean, who finished in 10th place in the Haas car. Yes, the Haas car. Wowzers. There's the podium then. Unfortunately, Fernando Alonso didn't make the podium, but he did get some good points in the bag. And there's Lulu, throwing up the trophy to say, yes, lads, I am unbeatable. Unbeatable. Yes, and there's Charles Leclerc. Look at the little baby face on Charles Leclerc. Look at it, little cutie baby face. Yes, okay, let's just gloss over that, shall we? Let's just gloss over that and move on to the point standings and see where we are with Fernando Alonso. So there you go, Lewis Hamilton won the race. Fernando Alonso finished in 7th, so 6 World Championship points. And Alexander Albon, our teammate, only finished in 14th. So in the championship now, Fernando Alonso is in 6th place with 48 points. Lewis Hamilton way out in front at the moment with 135 World Championship points. Oh my goodness. And Alexander Albon hasn't got a single point at the moment. And in the constructors, well, we are in 4th position. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. You've been awesome as always, and as always, there will of course be more later.